Today I want to talk about Arkansas traveling to Texas A&M and all that's coming up after the bumper. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on Step Mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about Sam Pittman's Arkansas Razorbacks traveling to Kyle Field to take on Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M Aggies. The Aggies are feeling some kind of way because they were able to knock off a top 5 opponent for the first time in the Jimbo Fisher era, and Jimbo celebrated like he had won a national championship after beating a Florida team that still is trying to figure out whether or not it's going to be good enough defensively to beat up on Georgia in the world's largest cocktail party, let alone represent the SEC East in the SEC championship game. We're also in a very interesting week because following Indiana's upset of number 8 Penn State, they vault not into the top 25, but into the top 20 as the number 17 team in the country and ahead of number 18 Penn State, who gets to face Ohio State at home. Yikes. But this also just goes with the thinking that the AP top 25 is results-based. And I get that because wins and losses matter. The scoreboard matters. But I have to say, if Arkansas had gotten the win that they were robbed of against Auburn, who was at the time a number 13 team in the country, they would be ranked as well. And the way that Arkansas has played to start this season is wildly fun and inspiring because, well, you saw an offensive line coach show up for his first year at a place that had not been good in 5 years and flip a switch in his program. A lot of this, I think, has to be done with how Sam Pittman purported himself when he got the job through the COVID, through Black Lives Matter until now. All he's done is win the favor of a rabid and starved fan base that is Arkansas Razorbacks. From the moment that he teared up saying how much it meant for him to be the new head coach at Arkansas, to marching with his players in a Black Lives Matter protest in Fayetteville, to how they have responded to not just a really gut-wrenching loss to Auburn, but showing up defensively against an Ole Miss team that put 48 up on Alabama, right? This is the same Ole Miss team that got beat by Auburn just a week later. But I need to add in here that it has been Barry Odom's defense that has been carrying Arkansas. 6 interceptions of Matt Corral they had, 3 by Hudson Clark in that win, and I would venture to call it an upset win, of Ole Miss. An Ole Miss team that I think was going to beat them by 14 points had we not seen the kind of display that we saw from that defense. Add to that, if Felipe Franks gets any kind of consistency as a passer, they could be more than just a little bit dangerous. Get Traylon Smith going. Understand that you can run this veer and shoot with great effect. Kendall Briles is making it happen offensively. It's just taking a little bit longer. I'm not sure what it means that he brought in Malik Hornsby for a couple of snaps here and there, except I think that Malik Hornsby is going to be a great player, particularly in that scheme when it's his time. I know that there's some folks that still feel KJ Jefferson is getting a raw deal. I'm saying the best quarterback should play. Felipe Franks also is something like a slingshot. When he's good, he's really good. When he's bad, you are holding your breath. On the other hand, Texas A&M has to show that they are as dominant as they feel they are. Against that same Florida team they beat, they were down 11 in the second half, and they come back to beat them, putting up 41 on the board. But a lot of this is going to be up in the air because they've had opt-out after opt-out. Kellen Mond seems to be figuring out that he is the quarterback at Texas A&M and start playing like it, to say nothing of how Isaiah Spiller has responded to being their lead tailback. I think that Arkansas has an opportunity to shut up everybody. And when I say rank Arkansas, you cowards, it is for the last 4 weeks that I've been saying this because I believe they're a good football team. I think they're going to have to beat Texas A&M, number 1, to be ranked, but number 2, to be taken as seriously as I think they should be, because if you're doing a power rankings of the SEC West, you're going to have Alabama at the top, obviously, right? After that, you can make a great argument for Arkansas or Texas A&M, followed by Auburn or LSU, depending on how you feel about LSU putting up 52 on a South Carolina team that beat Auburn, okay? Then there's Ole Miss in there, and I think that's more defensive related and what the hell is going on with their defense as opposed to what I think that Lane Kiffin's offense and Jeff Lebby are doing. I'm not a DJ Durkin fan at all, but I also think that his defense was, really, really bad. And you can't expect Ole Miss to be competitive until they get something like a competent defense. Meanwhile, I think Arkansas has had the inverse, right? Their defense is overdeveloping very, very quickly, and they're getting timely play, particularly from their defensive backs. And Bumper Poole is out there acting like a first-round draft pick, and that is not what I expect. I expect him to be good. I did not expect him to be great. I didn't expect him to be outplaying guys like Dylan Moses and guys like Monty Rice when it comes to his specific play as a linebacker. And I think Barry Odom is going to lean on that in this 4-2-5 and say, cool, if Isaiah Spiller thinks he can beat us, let him. But we have defensive backs and we have a back seven, if you will, that we 100% trust, from our 2 linebackers in the middle to our 5 DBs. I would ride that if I'm Sam Pittman, and I would try to run the damn football. Run the ball, play time of possession football, play timely defense, starve Jimbo Fisher of what he loves to do most, which is call offensive plays. Make this a slugfest. If you're Arkansas in Kyle Field, take the crowd out of it as quickly as you can and as much as you can. And Sam Pittman, being an offensive line coach, feel like he knows exactly how to stress that to his offensive coordinator, to Brad Davis, and to his offensive line, and how they want to go about destroying everything that Texas A&M seems to think that it is, because it was able to go and get a win against a number 4 Florida team. I think this is an absolute outstanding showcase for Arkansas that they need to take advantage of, because this is also a year in which I thought that Arkansas was playing the toughest schedule in the history of college football. And it looks like Ole Miss was the easiest game left on their schedule, especially with the way that Missouri was able to put away Kentucky. And I mentioned they still got Alabama to finish the season. They got to get past this A&M team. They got to play LSU. That's going to be a big game as well. I'm excited to see what Sam Pittman comes up with. I'm excited to see how Kendall Browse deploys his offense against Mike Elko's defense. And I'm really excited to see whether or not the boys rise to the occasion in the way that I think that they might. On the other hand, Texas A&M, you got to dispatch them by 14 points or more if you want everyone to continue to believe you have an opportunity to go and win consistently. Like, Texas Bowl is not where you are supposed to be. You're supposed to be continuing with Alabama for that SEC West division. You're supposed to be where Auburn is right now, right? I don't know that you're going to get there, but if you can't beat Arkansas, it ain't going to be this year. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.